Richland Colts, Colfax, North Dakota, as Richland gets ready to take on NGS. Again, Napoleon-Gackle Streeter undefeated as the national anthem is about to be sung. They're having some technical trouble here in Colfax. The amp is out of power, so you won't be able to hear any of the national anthem at all. So we'll step aside very briefly here on the BEK Broadcast Network. When we get back, we'll get you ready for this matchup. Welcome you back into Colfax, North Dakota, here on the Farmers Union Insurance pregame show. For all your insurance needs, you can contact your local Farmers Union insurance agent or go to www.fumic.com. The starting lineups being announced as loud as the public address guy can get them out, and we have one of the louder ones here in Colfax, North Dakota. He's doing a really good job letting the people know what he can, and let's go ahead and jump right in here on the Farmers Union Insurance pregame show with our look at a player matchup brought to us by Choice Financial. I want to remind you that Choice Financial is people first. You can find out what that means at choicefinancialgroup.com. We look at the most important position in sports today, the quarterback. Jamison Fettig, the senior leader for Napoleon-Gackle Streeter, does a lot of handing the ball off, but manages the game exceptionally well, does not make mistakes. Meanwhile, for Richland, they have put the burden of this offense on their junior quarterback in Cole Myers, a guy who runs this air raid attack and has been a big part of what the Richland Colts have done this year. That is a look at our player matchup brought to us by Choice Financial. Next, let's take a look at our Pinky Homes keys to the game. You can get the keys to your new custom-built home from Pinky Homes, a family business dedicated to building your next family home. For the Napoleon-Gackle Streeter Imperials, it'll be about staying steady. They've done a really good job this year of continuing to plod the football forward. It's the fundamental basics of their running game that powered them to a Region 3 title just a week ago, and they're going to try and continue and keep alive that mentality today on the road against an out-of-region foe. Meanwhile, for the Richland Colts, as it has been for 2 years now, the 3 fully, under head coach John Freeman, it's about that big play. It's the fundamental part of their offense, and whether they were run first as they used to be with a guy named Jake Eland, or whether it's the more air-based attack we see now with Cole Myers, either way, they are going to try and utilize that air game and capitalize on the big play. And that is why it is their key to the game, brought to us by Pinky Homes. Let's go ahead and take a look around the region now, brought to us by the North Dakota Firefighters Association. You want to be more than your 8 to 5? Visit ndfirefighter.com to learn more about becoming a volunteer firefighter, because you were made for more. The fascinating matchup in Region 1 today, the Thompson Tommies, the new kids on the block, but they are showing out in a big way, as we all expected, going up against the possible state champions, the Warbirds of Wyndmere-Lidgerwood. A fascinating game out here in Region 1. Hankinton will take on the Spartans of Finley, Sharon, Hope Page. Our fellow BEK 247 station will be spotlighting the action out in Region 3. The Lions of Linton HMB at home to take on the Lobos of Lemoore, Litchville, Marion. Rounding out the Region 3 action, the Mustangs of South Border will look for win number 1 on the year, taking on the Wolves of Kidder County. Also over on BEK Prime, you can find the Mandan Braves taking on the Magi of Minot. Playoff seeding and a playoff spot on the line on BEK Prime. Tomorrow we will be just south of here in Wahpeton, North Dakota, as the Wildcats of NDSCS will take on the Lumberjacks of Dakota College Bottineau. 2 teams at the top of the Western Division. Promises to be a fun one with a lot of points scored tomorrow at 2 o'clock. That is our look around the region, brought to us by the North Dakota Firefighters Association. I want to remind you that tonight's contest, brought to us in high definition by Piper's Auction and Realty. Piper's Auction and Realty is a full-service auction, real estate, and land management company specializing in the selling of land, farm and ranch, real estate, machinery sales, and land management. You can give them a call at 877-700-4099 or online at www.pipers.com for a free consultation. The Napoleon-Gackle Streeter Imperials will get the ball first, and so we'll get to see the debut here on the field of the Colts of this running game for head coach Kelly McCleary. The McCleary name, of course, well known in the Napoleon community. A lot of success behind it on the wrestling as well as football front. 2 sides that tend to go very well together here in the Peace Garden State. Meanwhile, John Freeman in his 3rd year now with the Richland Colts. Year 1 was a state title. This ball game is underway from Colfax. Thanks for joining us here on BEK 247. It's going to be fielded clean, and the starting field position is going to be absolutely outstanding for NGS. Jamison Fettig going to put him off to a good start, just shy of midfield, out to the 41-yard line is where the Imperials will begin their drive. Speaking of Jamison Fettig, he will lead this team out as their starting quarterback, an all-state wide receiver a year ago, now taking over at quarterback. As we so often see in 9-man, you want your most athletic player to be playing quarterback. That way he touches the ball every single time. First play, predictably, a read option look for NGS. Jangula keeps and takes it out to the 49-yard line, a gain of 7 to make it 2nd down and 3. Napoleon likes to vary up how they utilize that running game. You'll see some of those read option looks. You'll see some straight-up handoffs. Formationally, they really like to power it up, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, and just continue to run it down your opponent's throat. And one of the big keys of that, obviously, is the offensive line, as there you see the straight give out to the 45-yard line across midfield on a gain of 6 is Nathan Weigel, the junior back for NGS. We talk about the big guys up front for Napoleon-Gackle Streeter, a group that returns all 3 key starters from a year ago. That allows you to simply impose your will, and that's exactly what they've done in Napoleon. So NGS very quickly across midfield here in Colfax. Run off the right side this time. Again, it's Weigel lowering his shoulder for a gain of 5. 2nd down and 5. Weigel averaging over 5 yards per carry here in the very early going. And Napoleon-Gackle Streeter doing a good job of, well, keeping the offense as advertised. Jangula on the play action fake. Going to pass it for the first time today. Instead, he takes off. Seeing nothing, looking to cross field. Jangula falls forward out to the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 10 for Jamison Fettig, Fettig looking downfield. Doesn't see anything he likes. He may have had a short pass there up the gut. Instead, he trusts his legs and he utilizes them. Jamison coming into play today. Thrown the ball 76 times, completed about half of them for 571 yards and 10 touchdowns. First completion today will await as he hands it off to Nathan Weigel. And Weigel again keeping up that 5 or so per touch as he gets it out to the 25-yard line and a gain of, well, 5. Last time we were here in Colfax this season, it was also a matchup with a Region 3 team, a thriller between the Richland Colts and the Mustangs of South Border. Richland got a couple deep shots that made the difference in that game. South Border came back at the end to make it very interesting. Second pass attempt, looking for it all at once down the field, and it is just going to fall out of the hands of its intended target, Jacob Bitts. Napoleon on their first pass shot of the day looks for the home run and just misses it. Bitts had a step. Napoleon will be frustrated by that one. Richland fortunate to not have 6 points on the board against them. Ordinarily, you'd call this a passing situation. Not for this NGS team. Weigel up the gut, and it is Nathan Weigel out to the 19-yard line, a gain of 6 and a first down. Last year, Nathan had 800 rushing yards. He has eclipsed that by a wide margin this year. Coming into play today, over 1,100 yards. And in fact, with that most recent carry, he goes over 1,200 on the campaign. Anytime you can get a 1,200-yard rusher, you know it's going right. Now the handoff to Jacob Bitts. Bitts slowed for a gain of just a couple. Richland will take that all day long, as their defense fighting to embrace that bend but don't break mentality here, as Napoleon has absolutely Imperial marched this thing down the field. And now on 2nd down and 8. Let's see what Coach Kelly McCleary and company draw up. A 7-0 start to the season. Napoleon looking to try and stay undefeated with the start of the 9-man playoffs looming. Fettig over to the far side. Tackled with some authority. Gavin Raylan there on the tackle for the Richland Colts. So 3rd and about 6. As Colton Jangula runs on with the play. The sophomore tight end has been doing a lot of blocking early on. And they spread him out. Solo dolo in the backfield is Jamison Fettig, the quarterback, and it is a spread quarterback draw. Fettig looking for space on the outside. Very nearly tripped up, hit hard, but a flag. Trenton Duffner, the junior, is the one who laid the final hit on the Napoleon quarterback. But we have to check the laundry for the first time today. Illegal hands to the face going against Napoleon. It would be 4th down regardless. And so early decision time for John Freeman and the Richland Colts coaching staff. Do they want 3rd and long or 4th and what would be about 5? That penalty is declined. They will take the 4th down. So one play to try and stall the drive for Richland. One play to capitalize on the offensive momentum in the early going for Napoleon-Gackle Streeter. Fettig in the pistol, high snap. Looking for it, has a guy solo in the end zone, easy. Finding Ethan Kleppe by himself in the end zone, and a great job by Jamison Fettig, keeping his composure on 4th down and finding the junior wide receiver in the corner of the end zone, and it is their favorite target for NGS. Ethan Kleppe now has 5 catches on the year. 4 of them have been touchdowns. When the guy touches the ball, points are scored for NGS, and that holds true. Now, Napoleon-Gackle Streeter are going to try and do the other thing that makes them different than some other 9-man teams. They're going to go for the extra point, and that is going to be money. Eric buries it, and so 7-0 the lead for the visiting Imperials. A 7-0 lead for Napoleon-Gackle Streeter. It came down to a 4th down, but the pass contained on the back end allowed those NGS athletes to get out, get free, and put up 6 points. So just like that, the Richland offense will come out for the first time today, and they will be trailing. So Cole Myers and company will have to throw the ball, but hey, they were going to do that anyway. Eric Romero-Lora on the kickoff attempt. And let's see what Richland can do in their return game. NGS got a very good one, and now Hunter Lentz makes his bid for it, and Lentz brings it out across the 40-yard line. So both teams getting some really good starting field position in the opening stanza. Lentz brought out the 43. So out comes Cole Myers by himself. A lot of options spread out in the pattern. 3 wide receivers to his right, a couple to his left. Full-on spread look, blitz called and delivered by the Napoleon-Gackle Streeter Imperials. There is the sophomore, Garrett Jangula, from the linebacker spot, coming in absolutely untouched, bringing him down and all the way back for Richland as they are brought to the 33-yard line, a sack and a loss of 10. Now Myers looking far side. It falls incomplete as the NGS offense, like a train coming through the Richland offensive line in the early going. And it is just like that. 3rd down and 21. On the right side of the tracks here in Colfax, but we are right by the train track, so you'll hear it a whole lot tonight. Myers climbing the ladder, running out of time, and it falls incomplete. Again, it's the pressure applied by the NGS defensive front, capitalizing on the real experience that they have up front. Remember, this is a Richland team that doesn't have any seniors, and coming off that state title 2 years ago and a quality appearance last year, going to Linton and winning a playoff game, now they have a little bit of that youth movement where they're trying to get guys some experience. High snap, corralled by Myers, who does indeed get the punt off. To his fellow quarterback, Jamison Fettig, and Fettig has no interest on it as it rolls dead right at the 30-yard line. So a 37-yard net punt for the Richland Colts, and NGS comes right back out just like that. For Napoleon-Gackle Streeter, obviously an out-of-region game, so it doesn't shape your thinking too much, but the biggest thing for them, A, to remain undefeated. Obviously that has some value, but building confidence more and more for what is going to be a home playoff game as that run comes off near side out across the 35-yard line to the 36, and a 6-yard carry for Weigel. Give him a little bit extra on the spot, so let's call it 2nd down and 3. With 6:28 to go. The ground and pound of NGS continuing to pay dividends. Quarterback keeper far side. This is why you take the all-state wide receiver and put him at quarterback. Fettig on the QB draw manages to pick up the 1st down for Napoleon. Now Richland's going to call a timeout. Coach Freeman and company going to try and solve the running game of the Imperials. We'll take one as well. 7-0 NGS. Quick play for Napoleon out of the timeout, running way backwards, looking for something, and the screen is eventually set up. Eventually just following is Nathan Weigel, not a whole lot there. That screen was blown up by the Richland defense. They got a whole bunch of bodies in there on the play. Carson Anderson and company there to disrupt the rhythm, and the first negative play of the day comes for NGS. So right out of the timeout, Coach Freeman gets exactly what he was looking for. A loss of 3 to make it 2nd down and 13. Fettig hands it off. Plenty of space near side. Weigel sheds a couple tackles, brings it across midfield. Manages to get it. The lost yardage and a whole lot more does Nathan Weigel. The junior has been outstanding today, bringing it out to the 49-yard line. So a quick gain of 10. To make it 3rd down and 3 off of 2nd down and 13. Just like that, the NGS offense back on schedule. They don't often stray from their marks. They'll get that 1st down, make it 2nd down and medium, 3rd down and short, and convert. The explosive play is always in their back pocket, and now the play action fake, run down, just going to get that 1st down is Jamison Fettig. That's an upperclassman-like play. Sticking the football out, saying, you know what, we don't need to throw it. We just need a 1st down. That's exactly what NGS is going to get. Through 7 games, so coming into action today here at the end of the 9-man season, NGS with 2,156 rushing yards and off to a really good start there again as well. Trying to near 100 yards on the ground as a team. And the biggest ball carrier of the day has been Nathan Weigel, as Weigel does a good job reversing field there out to the 38-yard line and a gain of 6. Been off left, off right, hasn't mattered. Those 3 guys up front for NGS, all 3 returning starters, have been really good. Spread look here, and this probably means a quarterback run, but before that comes, we get laundry everywhere. Dead ball and a false start on Napoleon-Gackle Streeter, so most of that lost yardage they picked up will be given back on the penalty from 2nd and 4 to 2nd and 9. As NGS looks to finish off this 9-man season, a perfect 8-0. They didn't drop a single game in regional play, so they'll get that 1st round bye. Meanwhile, for Richland, they're going to finish behind Hatton Northwood. So they're just trying to bolster this roster for what can come next year. Deep shot. Look at the speed and separation as it was almost intercepted. Ball left a little bit short. Zach Wolfkuhl right there on an opportunity for Richland as Nathan Weigel had a step, but that deep shot play so difficult to execute. There you see it. Left a little bit short. Weigel does a good job just to get a hand in there and disrupt Zach. So it falls incomplete, 3rd and long. And now it might be a must-pass situation for NGS. Although, bearing in mind, it's probably 4-down territory. They can keep themselves right on rhythm, and that's exactly what they're going to try and do, a run with Weigel. Nathan Weigel trying to get it all on one play, and he very nearly does. It will be 4th down. But Weigel's going to make it 4th and very manageable, just a couple yards separating NGS from a 1st down. So 2nd, 4th down try of the day for the Imperials. The last time, a touchdown. They'd love that here, but instead they're thinking about a 1st down. Fettig with a couple guys in front of him. The back Weigel. Direct snap to Nathan Weigel. A little bit of wild Imperial. And the Colts were ready for it, but fighting ahead is Nathan Weigel. And on a 2nd effort, the junior back for NGS has a 1st down. They're going to take a chance to measure it. Napoleon was trying to get on the ball and run a play. Could certainly understand that. To my eyes, it looks like a 1st. With the line to gain just beyond the 35-yard line. The officials call for a measurement, and so the chain gang will be called upon for the first time today. Will it be a chance for Richland to try and mount a comeback, or will it continue the drive for NGS? We certainly believe it to be the latter. It's a 1st down by a football and a half. So the direct snap to Nathan Weigel pays dividends, and we talk about the versatility of this NGS running game. You saw a little bit of it right there. One of the things Coach McCleary told me has really hampered this Napoleon team is slow starts. They were trailing in that game versus Linton, a season-defining game, a region championship game, and they wound up coming all the way back, scoring something along the lines of 21 unanswered in that 2nd half to come back and beat the Lions. Napoleon trying to remedy those slow starts, looking to try and make it 2 scores. Nice job by Jamison Fettig, eluding pressure and tacklers. Fettig out to the 25-yard line, and Fettig picks up 9 just like that. Jamison, an outstanding athlete here on the football field as well as on the hardwood for the NGS basketball team. Another guy who was huge for the basketball team and the football team for that matter, Dalton Jangula, the 1st-team All-State quarterback for Napoleon a year ago. The key departure on this NGS side. Despite that, recognizing they lost their quarterback, they've gone to a more ground-based attack, and, well, you've seen the results. Weigel looking for space off right tackle, brought down by Blake Loomis, but not before he gets out to the 20-yard line. A gain of 5 and a 1st down. So often in the 9-man game here in the great state of North Dakota, we see those outside runs utilized to a huge amount of success. That's exactly what we're seeing for NGS. They've run it well on the inside as well, but where you got a little bit more space with 2 less players on the field, it's a spot to take advantage. Fettig looking end zone, drops it over the top almost. Garrett Jangula had a chance over on that far side, but it falls incomplete. Thanks for joining us on BEK 247, available on KNDV, KNDM.2 in the western part of North Dakota, KRDK.2 out here in the eastern part, along with a number of local cable providers. Visit Bechtel.com/BBN for local channel listings and broadcast schedules. A big thank you to everybody making it possible tonight. Farmers Union Insurance, as well as Dakota Community Bank and Trust, North Dakota Firefighters Association, Red River, and the BEK Communications Cooperative. Fettig fakes the handoff, runs up the gut. A perfect read by the Colts as that was blown up. Austin Loomis was right there along with Trenton Duffner. Best defensive play of the day for the Richland Colts. Will force a couple on the loss, and it is 3rd and 11. Loomis, one of the unquestioned leaders on this Richland defense, and that is junior leadership for Richland. So despite not winding up where they wanted to in the region this year, still a real chance to build on this campaign over the course of this game and next year. Run off left guard Nathan Weigel gets the lost yardage back and a good amount more, but it will be once again 4th down. NGS is 2 for 2 on these tries. Will the third time be the charm for the Richland Colts? 4th down and about 3 for Richland. As the defense tries to stand strong, Napoleon trying to make another statement here at the very end of quarter number 1. Just about a minute left here in the opening stanza. Rolling right. Fettig changing the launch point, and he is brought down. This defensive sideline is fired up. That's Blake Loomis again. The junior at 5'11", 185 comes flying in and forces the turnover on downs. Richland going to keep it close, courtesy of a big-time play by Blake Loomis. You look at that replay, you see Blake's out of the screen, and all of a sudden he's at the quarterback. So Richland begins at the 14, going to need basically the length of the field. They'll have to do most of it in the second quarter. Well struck and delivered. Cole Myers finding Trenton Duffner, and here comes the big play for the Richland Colts. Trenton Duffner stays alive, brings it out to the 45-yard line. A gain of 31 to Trenton Duffner. We talked about it in our Pinky Holmes Keys to the Game. Since Coach Freeman has been here, this has been a big play offense. Sometimes it was in the run, often it was in the pass. It used to be Hugh Zeeland to set him up, send it to Flott to knock him down. Now Myers and company look to create their own tradition. That'll fall incomplete, courtesy of the blitz by Garrett Jangula. The sophomore linebacker came in and made immediate contact with his new friend, the quarterback, Cole Myers. So with 18.3 to go, in all likelihood, just 1 or 2 plays remaining here in this first quarter that has been dominated by Napoleon. Despite that, a chance for Richland to make something happen. Cole Myers looking way downfield, and it will fall incomplete. Very nearly intercepted by Nathan Weigel. That was an outstanding in-air adjustment by Nathan Weigel. Weigel gets to basically turn on wide receiver mode here at the end, even as a running back. Very adept at passing after catching out of the backfield. You see Weigel very nearly come away with that one. So 3rd down and still the original 10. Following the big 30-yard gainer. Quick drop, Myers running out of time. Cole climbs the ladder now. Will just go down just shy of midfield. Picks up 4 yards. Going to be 4th down, and that will be the final play of the first quarter. It's 7-0 Imperials. The Richland Colts trying to get on a gallop, but it's 4th down when we get back. Seven nothing, 4th down and 7. And Richland will come out and look to go for it, but Cole Myers is also the punter, so he'll get a chance to survey, decide what he wants to do. Oh, he ain't punting this. Myers downfield, finds his guy, and a bullet to Gavin Rayland, and Gavin has the 1st down. Gavin gets it out to the 24-yard line. A gain of, about 33 there. Really good work. On 4th down, Richland gives Napoleon a bit of a taste of their own medicine. Nice pickup, looking for it all, intended for Duffner over the top. Trenton Duffner incomplete. Just missing. That was a dime piece by Cole Myers. Myers going for that back shoulder pass. And he very nearly had it. But it will fall incomplete. And that'll make it 2nd down and 10 on the 34-yard line of the Imperials. Myers, quick play again. Deep for it. That time it's Hunter Lentz, the intended target. You can see already the adjustment in play calling by the Richland Colts trying to adapt to the very quick pressure and aggressive blitzing by NGS. Myers comes out in the gun. After having already converted 1 4th down, they don't want to try another. Screen pass set up. Zach Wolfcool brought down after a short gain. Picks up just 1, so 4th down and 9. And another do-or-die try on the drive for Richland. There you see Nathan Weigo, who's been very good on the defensive end as well. The linebacker has utilized the speed we've seen on offense to capitalize on some big blitzes for Napoleon-Gackle Streeter, and it's made a difference. Trips to the near side. Myers, deep drop, climbs the ladder, looking to that near side, and he finds his guy. Gavin's got another catch. It's the sophomore. Out to the 15-yard line, a gain of 18, and a first down for the Richland Colts. So once again, Richland converting on the 4th down try. Now 2 of 2 on this ball game. Trying to tie it up. Myers looking far sideline, out route incomplete. Good late hit applied by Ethan Kleppe on the defensive end. That forces that incompletion. Trying to find a guy who's very quickly becoming his favorite target in this game. You see 1-1 again. Gavin couldn't quite haul it in that time. Second down and 10, the line to gain the 6. Myers running out of time. Does a good job of escaping initially, but will not be able to get out of the grasp of Tyler Long. The junior defensive lineman is there on the sack. And Myers banged up after getting whipped down. No, excuse me, Myers is right there, so a Colt down. Begging your pardon, there you see Myers. The guy right in front of him is the Colt down. We will take an injury timeout here on BEK 247. As the lights shine here in Colfax, North Dakota, it is Zach Wolfcool, the injured Colt. And he will be helped off the field. Able to apply a little bit of pressure to that leg, but walking off gingerly, certainly hoping the best for the young sophomore for the Colts. Been a part of this program for a while now. So he will head off, and meanwhile it'll be 3rd down and 18 for the Richland Colts, trying to come back on the sack forced by Tyler Long, another one of those returning starters for Napoleon-Gackle Streeter. Myers, 3-step drop, runs out of time, hit as he threw, and it will fall incomplete. Also, we have a flag. A holding penalty against Richland. And my guess is NGS will say no thank you because it's going to be 4th down and an eternity either way. It'll be a tough spot for Richland in terms of field position. A punt does you exceptionally little, the ball at the 24-yard line, but it's going to be a really difficult conversion. Nevertheless, they're going to have to try it. 4th down and 18 for the Richland Colts to try and sustain this drive. They've been money on 4th down over the course of this most recent opportunity. Do they have another one in them here, or will it be NGS getting the ball back? Richland picks up the blitz with time downfield. The defender falls, and it's a touchdown to the junior, Trenton Duffner. Oh, there you see it right at the end of the replay. Duffner stepped out of bounds. It is incomplete. And so it will be first down and 10 Imperials. The whole Colts sideline faked out. And, well, I'm on the Colts sideline here in Colfax. In terms of positioning, our broadcast booth right behind them. So NGS gets it right back, holding on to the 7-0 lead. It'll just be a short game this time for Nathan Weigel. The good news for the Imperials is that once they get a second half lead, and we're not there yet, obviously, we still have 9:45 to go here in the first half, but even in the late stages of half one, this is an offense that is built to play with a lead. You've already seen what their defense can do in terms of ensuring the offense maintains that, but in terms of really sitting on the football, taking the air out of the opposing offense, and forcing them to expend their energy on the defensive end, this offense might be as good as any in the 9-man ranks. Staying in bounds is Jamison Fettig. Eventually he will head out, but not before he picks up a first down out to the 35-yard line, a gain of 10 and a first down for NGS. You look at the schedule for Napoleon-Gackle Streeter over the course of this year. Started things out with a big win over FSHP in the out-of-region look. Then managed to handle Lemoore and South Border, two teams that are still working on their rebuilding process in Region 3. The Oaks Tornadoes, the first interesting test for Napoleon. Oaks obviously coming down from A to 9-man. Napoleon won that game 28-17, a hard-fought contest. Then the Kidder County Wolves, and was essentially 1/3 of the region championship game. Napoleon won that one 28-22 to set up the true region championship game versus the Lions, 31-22. Napoleon in a comeback effort, securing that region title. Now looking to try and just make it to undefeated, headed into the postseason. As the state tournament begins in just a week, as that gain is right at the line to gain. So the officials will take an opportunity to measure once again. Last time for Napoleon, the measurement was fruitless as it resulted in a first down by a wide margin. Let's see if that holds true for a second time here in Colfax. Sticks down, and it will still be third down, just short for NGS this time. However, they're going to have two tries to pick up half a yard. Happy to have you here on the BEK Broadcasting Network, celebrating its 11th year, delivering high school and collegiate athletics to the viewers of North Dakota. A big thank you to the people and businesses that make it all possible. Handoff comes to the right side. A good stiff arm leads to plenty of room for Nathan Weigel, who is out across the 40-yard line of the Colts. Gain of about 11 and a first down for NGS. Eventually brought down by Duffner and company, but not before. That third and short becomes another 1st and 10 for NGS. Pass attempt for Napoleon. As it so often has today, those pass attempts do not turn into much. Fettig hit hard at the end. It was inbounds and very much a legal play. Though it looks a little bit nasty. Gavin got to him just in time to try and apply a little bit of pressure on the Napoleon quarterback. Just brings it down, and there you see him very much look the part of a wide receiver. Very close to that sideline. But the officials determine it's in play. So that's what we'll go with. Fettig hands it off. Weigel. Weigel off the left side. Probes ahead. Finds a few. Third down and medium for NGS. So we go to about 7:40 to go here in the first half. Make it 3rd down and 5 officially for NGS. As we talked about, a team trying to overcome some slow starts. They can do that by virtue of a 2-score lead here on this drive. Conversely, the other dominant team in the region this year, the Lions of Linton HMB, as that falls incomplete well behind Jacob Bitts, a team that's really struggled with slow finishes to game. It did cost them versus NGS, and it very nearly cost them versus the Wolves of Kidder County. That'll be interesting as the playoffs loom. Still a whole lot to be decided in this 9-man bracket. Region 3 making its bid, Region 1 as well. As if you're watching here in the Richland area, you know very well it is an incredibly deep Region 1. As we showed you in our look around the region, brought to us by the North Dakota Firefighters Association, that huge matchup in Region 1 between Wyndmere Lidgerwood and the Thompson Tommies, the reigning state champs, versus a team that has eyes on it this year. Speaks to the depth in this region. You add in the Hankinson Pirates, a team that Richland played exceptionally close, very much giving a scare to a team that's going to be hosting a playoff game in a week. There'll be a 5-yard encroachment penalty on the Richland Colts. And that'll get them very close to the first down. And it will, in fact, get them all the way there. To the line to gain and a first down for NGS, courtesy of the Richland miscue. First down and 10, and as we told you, a big thank you to the businesses making it possible. Today, that's Farmers Union Insurance, as well as Dakota Community Bank and Trust, along with the North Dakota Firefighters Association, Red River, and BEK. Fettig, with time, changes the launching point, looking all the way to the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown. How about the in-air adjustment, as Fettig will find Colton Jangula on the score for NGS. The sophomore Jangula, watch this for the tight end. Fettig just kind of heaves it up there into what is essentially double coverage, and it doesn't matter. Right to Colton Jangula, who awaits on the ground and cashes in for the score. Romero Laura on the extra point, up and good. So it will indeed be a 2-score lead, 14-0. Napoleon-Gackle Streeter on top here in Colfax. Welcome back into Colfax. Jesse, Dirk, and Garrett here in the southeast corner of North Dakota. The group back at the BEK Studios at the University of Mary. Jared and Jeff. The BEK Broadcasting Network is the only North Dakota-owned broadcasting company with live and local programming of your favorite athletic competitions and activities from around the state of North Dakota. As we talk about the looming 9-man playoffs, be sure to stay tuned to our Twitter at BEK Sports and our website, bechtel.com/BBN. That is where we will announce all of our upcoming playoff games. As that schedule is set following action tonight, we'll go through, do a deep dive on the matchups, and decide where we get to be this coming Saturday as the playoffs begin. We do know in this neck of the woods, the Hankinson Pirates will be a home playoff team. Their opponent is TBD, but we know the Pirate ship will be in action. We know Napoleon will eventually host, but they have some time. For now, it's Richland trying to play spoiler to an NGS team looking to try and make it to that bye week undefeated. Myers, quick hitter, far side. A little bit of space to work, and a quality pass to the flat results in some good old-fashioned rack yardage for the Richland Colts as Carter Lingen on the catch and run for a gain of 9. We talk about this Richland team, and as we go through the classes for each guys, that was a grab by a sophomore. Sophomores, juniors abound for the Richland Colts, as it really is players and fans of all ages bolstering this Richland program. As Coach Freeman tries to shepherd this youth. Myers, another guy will be back next year, squares up, loads up, downfield. Lentz going for the one-handed grab, very nearly intercepted by Jamison Fettig. It'll fall incomplete. It might all be moot as there is a flag resting at the original line of scrimmage, a holding penalty against the Richland Colts. If you ask Coach McCleary, one of the keys to their success this year has been the exposure that some of these NGS players got last year, and it was far from a rebuilding year by any means for Napoleon. They did a really good job last year with a relatively young team, getting to an 8-2 mark, making it to the postseason, and losing to a very respectable team. The Thompson Tommies would go on to win the whole thing. But now, because of the playing time some of those younger guys got, you get that extra returning starter boost, and it's been an absolute boon for NGS. We talk about that O-line in addition to plenty others. Myers, speaking of line play, Myers is going to run out of time as that sack will come. Colton Jangula all over this ball game. Had a touchdown just a couple minutes ago, and now the sophomore getting some exposure for Napoleon, proving that he will earn plenty of playing time these next 2 years plus. Joined by Alan Dahl, the junior defensive lineman. Some of the younger DTs and DNs for NGS starting to get home. A loss of 17 on the sack. So Myers is going to try and get most of it back right here, and he'll get a good chunk as it finds Hunter Lentz here on the near side. Still, it essentially brings us back right to the original line of scrimmage, 4th down and 11 in a punting situation for the Richland Colts. It'll be Jamison Fettig back to return this punt for NGS. High snap over the head of Myers. Cole tries to pick it up and do something with it. He can't. Garrett Jangula is there tackling the quarterback turned punter. And just like that, Napoleon-Gackle Streeter is going to be on the doorstep from the word go. Just outside the 10-yard line at the 11 is where NGS will take over following the high snap on the punt. So a gift of an opportunity to a team that has already won a region championship. That'll bring Fettig out in the pistol, and the well-rested quarterback didn't need to do any running on the punt return. Reverse comes near side. Colton Jangula looking for touchdown number 2, and he will find it. 1 receiving, 1 rushing for the sophomore, making his mark in an out-of-region contest. 20-0, the lead for the Imperials. Excuse me, that's Jacob Bitts. 18, not 12, the senior in on the touchdown for NGS. A returning starter, and that is his 3rd touchdown of the year. Romero's extra point up and good. 21-0. The NGS Imperials lead. $21-0, the NGS Imperials on top of the Richland Colts with 5:19 to go here in quarter number 2. On what's become a bit of a chilly night here in Colfax, North Dakota. The Imperials have turned up the heat, and now the Richland Colts will need to try and sustain a few drives to try and mount a comeback. For now, they trail by 3 scores following the long touchdown run by Jake Bitts. The 11-yard scamper immediately followed the botched punt. Speaking of, it's going to be a difficult special teams day. Trenton Duffner was unable to corral that one cleanly. Still, Trenton does a good job of just getting something. Eventually brought out of bounds by a whole host of Imperials. But not before he gets it right around the 20-yard line. That's where the Richland Colts will take over. One of the big keys Coach Freeman has had all year for this team is with the relative inexperience that they have on their offensive front. It's one of their keys to the game is to protect their quarterback, Cole Myers. They haven't been able to do that so much today because of the blitzes and defensive schemes by that guy right there. Kelly McCleary and his group has done a really good job of containing a very explosive offense in Richland. Quick hitter finds Hunter Lentz. Lentz dragged down at the 34-yard line, a gain of 12 and a 1st down for the Colts. Those quick hitters have worked well for Richland. And as these wide receivers get more time running routes and familiarity with this offense, that will come as there the junior cashes in and moves the chains for the hometown team. Myers again. Step, step, fire. This time, though, it'll just be a catch and drop for Carter Lingen over on the other side. Of course, we talk about the speed that the Richland Colts bring to the table year in and year out, resulting in their state championship a couple years ago, as you see Carter Lingen there on the catch. Be remiss if we didn't mention Cooper Lingen, a guy who was outstanding at wide receiver and at quarterback for the Richland Colts these last couple years. Myers looking for it all at once, dropped over the top, and that was a real chance for Carter Lingen, but it will fall incomplete. Coverage over the top applied by the safety, Jamison Fettig. I think Lingen may have had a real chance at that. He'll want that one back. It's a nice throw by Cole Myers. Let's take a look another again right here. A little bit off, but that's a ball that Lingen can catch. He knows it. He's got the talent. Made all the right moves. Just falls incomplete at the end. Myers climbs the ladder. Nice throw. Gavin Rayland with plenty of space, and Gavin is tackled out to the 23-yard line, and a huge play of 49 yards for the Richland Colts. This is all about the escapability of Cole Myers, throwing across his body, ordinarily ill-advised, but Gavin's got plenty of space, fends off Drew Weigel for a little bit of extra yardage, and it's the first real chance of the day for the Richland Colts following the big play. Going all the way to the other side, a ton of air on that ball. It is caught on the far side. Here come the big play Colts again, reminding you of how they won that state championship. It's Gavin for a second time in a row. Gavin Reeland this time over on the right side. And that is faith by your quarterback. Really good coverage right there by Jacob Bitts. Just nothing you can do. Loading up, far side, no chance. Richland will beg for some PI, though that ball would have been a very difficult catch regardless for Hunter Lentz. So second down and goal to go. And it speaks to the pass-first mentality of this Richland team, that with 2 yards to go, their first play was an end zone fade. Myers looking for a couple slant routes, can't find it. Now he climbs the ladder trying to get it himself, and Cole Myers is in the end zone. The first points are on the board for the hometown Colts, and it's the quarterback Cole Myers who keeps it himself and gets across the goal line for a Richland score. Good job to escape. Luke Holberg reaches out, goes full extension, and the Richland Colts will try and put home their chance at an extra point. The junior Hunter Lentz to try and keep pace with NGS. I don't think we've seen this many extra point tries in a 9-man game all year, but 4 for 4. Hunter Lentz puts it home, 21-7 as the Colts are on the board. The Richland Colts on the board. Napoleon scores the first 21 points, but the 2-yard keeper, good for a touchdown by Cole Myers. We've seen the Richland Colts be pretty aggressive with their onside tries over the course of this year. Be curious if they try it here. They've had a tough time slowing down this Napoleon offense. And the way NGS goes, with 3:46 to go in this half, they could conceivably just sit on this ball and take the remainder of this half. There you see Jesse Schwab down on the field. Derek and Dirk up here with me on the trailer here in Colfax, North Dakota. Hunter Lentz delivers the good word to his teammates. Napoleon's got a few guys up front. And here comes the onside try. And a chance for a recovery on that far side. We'll await the official signal, and it will be Imperial football. A good chance there for Trenton Duffner. You see he was a little bit banged up on that try. Right on cue. Duffner unable to corral it, and it goes out of bounds, hence why it will be NGS football. Nice job by Jesse Schwab giving you the straight up angle over on that far side. So out comes Fettig and company, looking to bleed out what remains of half number one and cap it off with a response score. It'll start with a very good look to Nathan Weigel out across midfield and to the 46-yard line. Let's call it second down and about 3. As Weigel, so patient right there, just peruses his options, decides to go off the right side. Now Jamison Fettig's going to do something similar. Fettig hit hard. Carter Lingen lowers the shoulder and gets to the NGS quarterback, firing up the Richland side. However, it won't much matter, as it is going to be very close to a first down. The sticks showing first down over on that far side. And now the chains will move. First down, NGS. So the ball spotted at the 43. First down and 10. Play action fake. All the shots have been there for NGS off that play action game. They've elected to not take most of them. This time they find Drew Weigel, the senior tight end, there on the catch. One of the first times we have mentioned the big play wide receiver for NGS today. Coming into play, 8 catches for 182 yards. That is a ton on a per-catch basis, leading this team in a big way. And with that snag, he'll get over 200 on the campaign. When NGS has elected to throw it, it has been for a whole lot of yardage. When they've decided to take that opportunity, hit hard on the far side. Make no mistake, the Richland Colts trying to bring some hit stick energy here to their hometown of Colfax, North Dakota. Blake Loomis and company in on the read on the option, and they corral the running back Weigel. Just about 2 minutes to go here in Q2. NGS on the doorstep. Keeper over to the far side. Richland bit hard on that read option look, and that is a picture-perfect read by Jamison Fettig. Good enough for a first down. It's first down and goal on the 12-yard gain. Fettig is going to put him right on the precipice again. With Coach McCleary watching on in the background, he will see his junior quarterback make an outstanding play. With the Colts sideline watching on, the Imperials will be in no hurry to give this ball back. Like we said, they play that ball control style exceptionally well. They will stay in the huddle. They'll call timeout at 1. Going to try and take all of this clock that they can. NGS will not run a play. Take it all the way down, and the clock will hold at 1 minute and 9, 8, 7. Clock's going to keep going. The timeout on the field, the clock continues to wind. The officials will adjust it. We'll get you the right number when we get back. It's 1 minute 12 remaining, so 8 extra seconds ticked off the clock there right before we went to the break. Weigel on the carry, just shy of the goal line. A mixed bag there for Richland. See if the Colts elect a timeout. They will be content to let this thing roll. So again, NGS can take the majority of what remains here of half number 1. And the good news for the Imperials is they will still have 2 tries to put this thing into the end zone and take it to a full 3-score margin, which is the most they've led this game by before the answer by Richland. Fettig just puts his hands on his hips and waits till the very last second. Now he will snap it. Weigel off right guard. Weigel into the end zone. Touchdown, NGS. Marches their way down the field and responds to the Richland score with one of their own. A picture-perfect drive for Napoleon. They mix in the throw just a little bit, and they cash in on the run. Nathan Weigel falls forward for a touchdown. We'll see Eric Romero-Laura come out, try and put it away. Extra point is up and no good. Our first miss of the day, so a bit of positivity for Richland. They will get one last kickoff try, maybe a little bit more when we get back. A festive night here in Colfax, North Dakota, underneath the Friday night lights. What else do you want to do on a Friday night? You watch some football, you get to have some fun afterward, as it is 27-7, the lead in favor of the visiting team, as right now it's the NGS Imperials having fun. They're going to kick this thing away, and following the onside try by Richland, NGS took advantage of the relatively short field. We'll see if Richland puts themselves in a Hail Mary kind of look here. With 18:5 to go, Cole Myers and company have shown a willingness and a desire to move the ball and throw the ball down the field. Though with such few seconds remaining, we'll have to see what the call is by Coach Freeman and company. Richland did have a couple timeouts. They do have a couple timeouts left. Decided not to use them on that last opportunity, though. You don't want to try and force Napoleon into anything. Here comes the deep shot, just a step in front. Dropped right in front. Gavin had a shot at that one. If he could have brought that down, you would have had a timeout by Richland and then a true chance at the end zone, but it falls incomplete. Very good route down the field. Gavin runs a little bit towards the sideline and then just goes straight up forward. Have to imagine it'll be a similar play here. For Verts. No button hook. Comes to the near side. Hunter Lentz going to try and get it done after the catch. Wicked stiff arm by Hunter Lentz. Got right up in the grill of Drew Weigel. Maybe a little bit too much. Either way. 7.2 is what remains following the 11-yard gain. It's a first down for the Richland Colts, though Napoleon will be perfectly content with that. With 7 seconds or so remaining, you've got time for a couple plays if you're Richland, if you're so inclined. That button hook was there again for Myers. He's going to load up, send it to the middle of the field, finding his guy. However, it will wind up being the final play of the half, so it'll pad the stat sheet and nothing more. 27-7, the region champs playing the part. The NGS Imperials lead at the break. Welcome you back in here to Colfax, North Dakota, as we've got about 7 minutes till we get things going in quarter number 3. As you see there on your screen, the lead is 20 for the Imperials of NGS. They started this thing out with an authoritative drive on 4th down. They cashed in on the touchdown to Ethan Kleppe, giving him 4 touchdowns on the year and 5 catches. That's about as efficient as you can get. Richland would come out in the ensuing drive and be forced to punt, courtesy of the sack by Garrett Jangula, as the Richland Colts got off to a bit of a slow start. That's the thing that Napoleon was really trying to avoid here in the Peace Garden State in their final game of the 9-man regular season. NGS would come out in the drive after that, have their first turnover on downs, the last time they would turn it over on downs today, courtesy of a long and extended defensive run by Blake Loomis. He made a couple really good plays over the course of that series. Richland got the ball back, moved the ball well, got it to the 33-yard line, but were unable to cash in. NGS, meanwhile, gets a long touchdown in double coverage, finding Colton Jangula, who did a good job of just falling, well, with the football in the end zone. That's all you got to do. Then a high snap on a punt set the Imperials up on the 11-yard line. Jacob Bitts got all 11 of those yards at once, and the lead was 21-0, Napoleon-Gackle Streeter. Then it was a Gavin Richland 49-yard catch that set up a 2-yard touchdown keeper for Cole Myers, and that is how we find ourselves at 27-7, the lead for NGS. The regional champions on the precipice of an undefeated regular season as they will head into the bye. And the good news for them is that they can hold this result. All the conversations in that locker room going to be very positive. You get a opportunity to reflect on what you were able to do over the course of this regular season, and you get some extra time to prepare for your opponent. Now, we don't know who that is, but we can start to guess. We'll do that over the course of this second half here in Colfax, as well as during the course of this halftime report. Get a little bit of bracketology going. Remember, we'll be doing plenty of playoff action here at the BEK Broadcasting Network. Bechtel.com/BBN is where you can go for that. Speaking of Bechtel.com/BBN, that's where you can find our schedule that has all of our action coming up here on the BEK Broadcasting Network. But let's go ahead and give you a little bit of a look ahead here, brought to us by John Star Locks Incorporated. JSI is celebrating more than 50 years of balancing progress with perspective for communications providers. For those of you watching back in Napoleon or Gackle or Streeter or anywhere in Region 3 for that matter, next week is for you. On Tuesday, it'll be the South Border Mustangs taking on the Wolves of Kidder County in some Class B volleyball action. Add into that the Imperials of NGS taking on the Lions of Linton HMB. For those of you watching out here in Region 1 country, we got you covered on the back half of our week. Lisbon will take on the Warbirds of Wyndmere-Lidgerwood, a resurgent and very talented Lisbon Broncos team, making its appearance on the BEK Broadcasting Network coming up on Thursday, October 12th. On Friday, I'll be in Fargo as Omaha takes on the Bison of NDSU, the North Dakota State University Bison, surprising a lot of people in the Summit League, and look to keep that going versus Omaha. Also on Friday, on BEK 247 West, the Aggies of Park River Fordville Lankin will take on Langdon, and Langdon is a team that is very highly ranked in Class A. They are going to put up a whole lot over the course of this season. They have, they will, and they'll be making a playoff appearance, as I think they finally got the speakers working here in Richland County, Colfax, North Dakota. We'll take one more time out here on the BEK Broadcast Network. When we get back, we'll continue to get you ready for the second half between the Colts and the Imperials. No doubt, the moon's starting to rise here in the southeastern part of the Peace Garden State. The moon now shining brightly here on the home of the Colts, Richland 44, Colfax, North Dakota. However, it has been the NGS offense that has shined bright through half number one, 27-7. They lead through one half of play. Let's give you a look at some scores from across the state. We told you Langdon can score points in a hurry. Langdon EM on top of Central Dakota, 42-0. West Fargo on top of Fargo South, 21-7 at the halftime break. A Region 1 score for you, the Hankinson Pirates on top of FSHP, 30-8. In Double A football, Jamestown on top of Wahpeton, 20-0. The Rugby Panthers on top of Bottineau, 6-0. Shiloh losing at the halftime break to New Salem Glen Ullin. The Shiloh Christian Skyhawks, a fixture in the 9-man playoffs, and will once again be watching the team out of the capital. West Hope Newburgh Glenburn trailing the Hornets of Harvey Wells County, 26-6 at the halftime break. The Shanley Deacons on top of the Highliners, I almost said Vikings, of Valley City, 35-6. And Hillsborough Central Valley, a really interesting score from Class A. Number 1 and number 2, HCV 28, EEK 14. The reigning champs trailing by 14 points at the halftime break. That's probably the first time all year that's been the case. HCV, of course, coming down from Double A and making their mark in A. Also, the Warbirds of Wyndmere-Lidgerwood on top of the Thompson Tommies, 14-7 at the halftime break. That's another one to keep an eye on. That is for the whole kit and caboodle in Region 1. The Warbirds trying to make one more statement in this incredibly packed region by defeating the reigning champion, the Tommies of Thompson. Both the Warbirds and the Tommies 5-0 in Region 1 play. And so, winner gets the number 1. Loser gets the number 2. Hankinson will be the 3 seed in Region 1. Hatton Northwood will be the 4. Richland will be the 5. Unfortunately for Colts fans, only 4 teams get to go. However, it has been a Richland team that has been a fixture in the 9-man playoffs these last couple of years, going the whole distance 2 years ago, and going to Linton, a very difficult place to play, and winning a game last year. That's exactly what they look forward to doing next year. Once again, hoping to be in the playoffs. A young team now trying to play spoiler on a team that will go as the number 1 seed out of Region 3, the Imperials of Napoleon-Gackle Streeter. Richland's going to get the ball first, and so they will get a chance to try and implement their halftime adjustments. They scored for the first time in this ball game right before the half turned to 2, though NGS answered at the final buzzer. Just waiting the officials ready to go signal. Romero's been in that kicker's crouch a while. Just waiting. Now he looks. We're ready to go. Let's play football. It's half number 2. Richland trying to make a comeback and dethrone the undefeated Imperials. A difficult kickoff recovery is there for the Richland Colts. Good job by Blake Loomis just to pick that thing up and get something for it. And so here come the Colts offense. Thanks for joining us on the Farmers Union Insurance Halftime Report. As the Colts begin at the 28-yard line, we'll see Cole Myers come back out, try and shepherd this offense to its second score. Myers right back to that play they ran a few times at the end of the half. It's Hunter Lentz on the near side, and it is Hunter Lentz for a gain of 5. Drew Weigel there on the tackle for NGS. Weigel still playing a little bit off. And yeah, it's because you have to respect the speed. Though, doesn't matter how off you're in coverage. When the quarterback goes down, the sack applied, the NGS defense gets home again. And this time it is Garrett Jangula. Jangula makes it an 8-yard sack. We've said Garrett's name a couple times on the offensive end, but his impact has been felt today from that linebacker spot. It has been the guys at the very top of the Napoleon roster wearing number 2 and number 1, Garrett Jangula and Nathan Weigel, with their imprint all over this box score. A little bit of a stunt here for Jangula. This time he'll be shepherded away from the quarterback. It won't much matter, though. There's a bunch of Imperials there. Tyler Long leads the way this time for NGS. The upperclassman defensive lineman, a returning starter and part of this unit up front on the offensive end that enforces the will of head coach Kelly McCleary and the running game for NGS. So Myers will go back to punt for the Colts, as it's a 3-and-out to begin half number 2. Jamison Fettig will watch it bounce around, and it is touched up by Blake Loomis at the 37-yard line. Loomis holding up that football. They'll say it was touched up by the Colts, actually a little bit further, as they're going to place this at the 45-yard line. The officials briefly conference, and it will indeed remain at the 45-yard line. So first play in half number 2, a deep shot for NGS, and it's going to work. However, a flag resting right at the point of the catch, so we'll have to check on the laundry. For now, it sits as a 54-yard touchdown to Jacob Bitts. It's going to be pass interference. The question is it against the defense or is it against Bitts? A meeting of the minds from the guys wearing the striped uniforms, and our officials will gather. A big decision here in the very, very early stages of half number 2. Go over and explain to Coach McCleary over on that far sideline. My guess is that means it's going against the Imperials. It'll be pass interference against Richland, and so the penalty is declined, and it's a touchdown for Jake Bitts on the first play of half number 2. The Imperials launch it downfield and get the big play. Let's take a look at it again. That's a well-played ball by Fettig. Just drops it on a dime and finds Bitts. Romero on the extra point. He missed his last one. Not so this time. One play, one touchdown for NGS. The lead is 27 here in the early third quarter. The fans enjoying the action here at Richland High School. For now, though, it is the Imperials coming into enemy territory and leading by 27. Always happy to come to a town where people get a chance to, well, be on TV. So with under 10 to go here in quarter number 3, NGS will boot this away again. It was a 3-and-out and a one-play score for the Imperials. As that goes all the way into the end zone. Good read by Trenton Duffner to make sure and guide it along. But it will be a touchback. So the Richland offense will come out and try and answer that one-play touchdown for NGS. A tendency breaker for Napoleon-Gackle Streeter. They lull you asleep with that run, and then they come out with a shot to open up half number 2 and set the tenor early, making the comeback bid that much more difficult for this Richland team. Despite that, it's a Colts team with pride. They're going to continue to fight here in the later stages. However, that will sail over the head of its intended target, Hunter Lentz. The message from some of the leaders at the halftime break, you could hear it from here as Richland gathered in that left end zone. Let's work hard and stay humble. They know they still have plenty of work to do in this game over the course of this offseason and getting ready for next season under the leadership of head coach John Freeman. It'll be the first time that Richland has missed the playoffs since he's been here. And they expect to find themselves back there next year as this young team matures and they get some senior leadership, which they do not have this year. They have leadership, it's just not seniors. There that do find the junior lens to the Richland Colts. Working that crossing pattern across the field. The problem with those types of plays is the speed of Napoleon gets to show itself a little bit too. And Richland's a quick team. They always have been. But NGS has some closing speed as well. And there you saw exactly what Nathan Weigel and company can do. Myers plants his feet. Too much air underneath that one. It's going to find Jacob Bitts. It is intercepted. Napoleon's been near a couple INTs today. Now, Jake Bitts, the linebacker, who had the long touchdown a moment ago, secures the interception for the Imperials of NGS, and they come back out on the offensive side. Just a bit of a breakdown there. Trying to find Gavin. He's been the number 1 target for Richland. Reeling a little bit off there on his communication with Cole Myers. So here comes Jamison Fetting at NGS. Once again gifted a short field. When they have had this, they have capitalized each and every time. Right back to the ground go the Imperials, and why not? Nathan Weigel sheds a couple tackles and picks up a quick 8. Weigel runs it off left side. NGS getting their shot. They have delivered their message here in half number 2, and so they will immediately resume exactly where they left off. You continue to go to the running game to try and set up later stages of that passing game, though I don't know how much more Coach McCleary and company will need to throw the ball today. Their offense is perfectly suited to this situation, a big lead in half number 2. Stretch play coming to the near side. A quick flag as they work it to Jacob Bitts. Bitts will be brought down just shy of the line to gain, but I'm not sure it's going to matter. It'll be an illegal shift going against the Imperials. So take the play off the board, sack on a 5-yard penalty. That'll essentially push Napoleon back to the original line of scrimmage. So a bit of a break here for Richland as their defense will try and stand tall for the first time today with NGS closing in on a touchdown. We did see the turnover on downs by Blake Loomis and company. That set up Richland still to go a long way. They made it a decent way down the field on their second drive, unable to cash in. Nice blitz pickup, does not matter. The Colts get home with a whole lot of authority. It's Nick Thompson on the sack for Richland, joined by the junior Austin Loomis. You see the running back, Nathan Weigel, pick up that blitz, but it does not matter. Thompson there along with Loomis. You want to talk about the youth of this Richland team. Big number 45 right there, 8th grader. Joined by the junior Austin Loomis. We've seen Jake Sal suit up for this Richland team along with Zach Wolfcool, who was injured earlier in this game, a sophomore. Both. Run right side. Weigel stays on his feet. Manages to elude a few defenders en route to the touchdown. Nathan Weigel from 31 yards out. Weigel so shifty on these runs. Really difficult to bring down. First of all, that's a gaping hole and very well done by the Napoleon offensive line. But here, just makes a guy miss, getting by Trenton Duffner and cashing in. And that will bring about the running clock here in the North Dakota Mercy Rule. The only time it will stop now is at the change of possession, which is about to happen following this. An Eric Romero-Laura extra point try. A little bit of a high snap. Corralled. It is rejected. The Colts get home and deny Romero-Laura on the extra point attempt. So we will stay at 42-7. A Colts shaken up as well. We'll step aside. You're on BEK 247. The Richland Colts trailing 40-7. Gavin Reeland was the Colts shaken up on the play. I think he's the one who got to that block, and it may have hit him. He will come off. Moving fine, so certainly hope to see him back in the game. Though as it sits right now, Napoleon may force some of the younger players into the game for both teams. Here with a 40-7 lead. Run comes to the near side. That is Trenton Duffner. Duffner making a couple guys miss and out beyond the 35-yard line. Duffner again a little bit shaken up. We saw it on that onside kick at first. Duffner trying to fight through it as he's getting set up to try and run a play. Credit to this young man, the junior for the Richland Colts. Out there fighting through it, trying to mount a comeback versus the Region 3 champions. Myers looking downfield and a strike right in the heart of the field. Finding Carter Lingen. Lingen bringing a guy with him across midfield out to the 48-yard line of the Imperials. About 16 yards there on the reception and a quick first down for Richland. There you see a clean pocket for Myers. And good things happen when he gets that opportunity as Carter Lingen picks up the first down. That is not a clean pocket for Cole Myers. running out of time, trying to go across his body. There was nobody there. Great downfield coverage by Drew Weigel, and the sack comes. A whole host of Imperials, including Tyler Long, getting there on the sack for Napoleon. Initial pressure applied by Alan Dahl, and eventually it is Long who gets there. Five wide receivers in the pattern. Dead play. Myers is already getting ready to load up and fire. He knows he has no time right now. The Richland offensive line is doing what it can, but a size and experience advantage is manifested all game long for the Imperials. And you can see it at any level of football. When you can get pressure in your base defense, maybe blitzing one, maybe not. We've seen NGS get pressure with both. You can make a really good offense look not so. That's exactly what NGS has done today. Make no mistake, it's a Richland team with athleticism and talent. But here again, they rush 4, they get home. Myers flushed out of the pocket, hit hard and brought down by Tyler Long. And Myers visibly frustrated, doing what he can. But there's not a whole lot of openings, simply because NGS able to cover downfield as well as apply pressure with 3 or 4. Want to remind you that tonight's contest brought to us by Farmers Union Insurance as well as Dakota Community Bank and Trust, along with the North Dakota Firefighters Association, Red River, and BEK. Going to keep a couple extra blockers in this time for Myers. Still very nearly hit on the blind side. Instead, he delivers a strike to Hunter Lentz. However, it hits the ground, falling incomplete. 4th down and a long ways for Richland, and they will have to punt. Or at least they're in a punting situation. They could choose to go for it on 4th and 29. Myers looking for the signal from the sideline. And a bit of confusion on the Richland side. And they'll be forced to take a timeout. They'll talk about it. It is 4th down and 29 when we get back. So Cole Myers will go back to punt for the Richland Colts. On a cloudy and chilly night in Colfax, fake punt. Myers loads up downfield, has a guy, and it's caught. The Richland Colts execute the fake punt perfectly, and out of the timeout, they are going to score a touchdown out of it. Touchdown, Richland. Hunter Lentz on the 62-yard reception, courtesy of a fake punt. How about that for the Richland Colts? Drawing the first real cheer of the day for the Richland faithful. That's the boon of having a quarterback who is also your punter, and that was sold perfectly by Cole Myers and well drawn up in the timeout. So a little bit of trickeration for the champs of 2 years ago. And now Hunter Lentz will try and put away his second extra point. He won't get that chance. That is a way high snap. However, a flag will save Richland. An encroachment penalty against the Imperials will give Richland a second chance. And I'd be curious if Richland elects to go for 2 with the distance cut in half, or will they stay their extra point look? It looks like the latter. The other good news for the Richland Colts is as a part of your comeback bid, you have to stop that running clock. Precious time ticks away. Richland has done that. They will go for 2 on a fake extra point try. And it will be just short. Good read by the quarterback on the NGS side. Turned linebacker, Jamison Fettig. There on the tackle. We'll stay at 40-13. Richland deep in the playbook right now here in Colfax. The lead down to 27 courtesy of the fake punt to Hunter Lentz. I almost wonder if the confusion, quote-unquote, on the Richland side was all part of the sell job to set up the fake punt. You think there's no way they're going to go for it now after calling the timeout to set up the punt. Sure enough, they did just that. Either way, the Richland Colts get touchdown number 2, but on their first 2-point try of the day, they will fall just short. And we'll see Napoleon come back out, trying to kill what remains of the 16 minutes or so that are up on the scoreboard here in Colfax. Dirk and Derek up here with me. Jesse down on the field. Jared and Jeff back at the BEK Studios at the University of Mary. A loaded night here on BEK. Lemoore and Linton going on over on BEK 247 West. Magi and Braves on BEK Prime. And plenty more action coming your way tomorrow as the onside kick try will not go. Recovered by NGS Luke Hoberg, the senior. One of the key starters on the offensive line, a name we haven't said enough today. In fact, all three of their key offensive linemen have not had their names said quite enough today, though Tyler Long has done a decent amount on the defensive side. Andrew Miller, Luke Hoberg, and Tyler Long have cleared the way for this running game on the NGS side. Jamison Fettig hands it off, run off the right side, and they stymie Weigel, or at least by the standard that Weigel has set today. Blake Loomis on the tackle for a gain of just a few out across midfield to the 49-yard line. A gain of about 3 to make it 2nd down and 7. Weigel's a diversion this time. Richland made the right read. Fettig still with a bit of space. He picks up a few. Let's start to dive in a little bit to the bracketology. Still a long way to go, obviously, as this bracket has really not taken a ton of shape yet. But for those of you watching in Imperial Country, you know your fate for now. It will be a bye week next week for NGS. They will skip the first week, and they will await the winner of Hankinson. We know that for a fact, the number 3 out of Region 1. And the number 4 out of Region 2. That will be either North Border or Larimore. North Border has the edge there. In their game with Larimore, they won. So by virtue of the tiebreaker, it will be North Border regardless, the 4th seed out of Region 2. So Napoleon will take on the winner of Hankinson and North Border. And that game, again, will be at Napoleon. Short run there on first down for NGS. Keeps that clock a-winding with 2:45 to go. Of course, the number 1 team out of Region 1 will get a bye. They will take on the winner of Kidder County and the number 3 out of Region 2. That is slated to be Nelson County / New Rockford Cheyenne. And again, by virtue of the tiebreaker, it'll be New Rockford Cheyenne, and it will be the Imperials of Napoleon-Gackle Streeter down on the doorstep again, and in fact, in the signal touchdown. The long run for Weigel gets the running clock back. Napoleon, for the 2nd time today, a swift and effective response to a touchdown drive by the Colts. Weigel just runs down that side and has some pure, nasty speed. Sets up the extra point try for Romero. The lead back to 33, and the seconds will continue to wind. Last time it was errant for Napoleon, and once again a flag comes before the snap. Full start, and the extra point is going to get a little bit more difficult for Romero. Distance has not been the issue. On the one that he's missed, it went wide left, but he's got the leg. We'll see if he can handle it from 5 yards back. The ball right about the 8-yard line. This is essentially a 25-yard extra point. High snap. He won't ever get that chance. It rolls all the way back. He just covers up and is down. So the extra point try will be no good. 46-13 with a minute 7 remaining in quarter number 3. (46-13). The NGS Imperials on top. Went to break telling you Kidder County will take on New Rockford Cheyenne. That was the exact same playoff matchup last year. A win for the Kidder County, then Pirates, now Wolves. What do you say to that? (46-13). Here on a rough night, there it is, as it starts to chill a little bit here in Colfax, North Dakota. The NGS Imperials have stayed hot, and they have forced the running clock situation once again. The move comes to the outside, very near the horse collar, but I think they got Duffner out on the shove before it starts to matter. The number 4 out of Region 1 will once again go to Linton. The playoff matchup, very similar to what we saw last year, will once again manifest, except this year, instead of the Richland Colts, it is Hatton Northwood who will be headed in that spot. Remember, if you want to know which of these playoff games we're doing, you can check out Bechtel.com/BBN. We will gather our meeting of the minds on Monday and figure out which of these matchups we want to do. That was almost a nice catch in the flat for Richland, but it will fall incomplete to bring up second down. In case you're wondering, the number 2 out of Region 1, which, if that game ended right now, would be the Thompson Tommies. They will take on the number 4 out of Region 3, and that will be the Oaks Tornadoes. Myers, running out of time, sends it far side. Nice adjustment in the air. And a sweet catch by Duffner just across midfield. And with that, it will be third down and short, but it will be when we get back. The third quarter is in the books. We head to the fourth. NGS in control, looking to finish off an undefeated season. Quick play here for Richland. They go back to that button hook. That has been surefire and money. Hunter Lentz has the catch for the first down. A quick update from our friends over on BEK Prime. 35-6. The Minot Magicians on top of the Mandan Braves. The Minot Magicians doing exactly what they needed to do. A win there secures their playoff future. Meanwhile, the landscape is starting to change in some other levels. Number 2, Bismarck St. Mary's, previously undefeated till a week ago, a loss to Shanley by wide regard, the 1 or 1A in AA. St. Mary's is having a bit of a hangover after that one. They trail Watford City 18-3 after 3 quarters. So a chance for St. Mary's to pick up a second loss in the regular season after having a grand total of 0 a year ago. Also, a quick update on that EEK game. HCV is up by about 30. And so the Class A landscape has shifted dramatically tonight as the reigning champs will fall in dramatic fashion. That thing is ripped out of the air, and it's going to be a gain of 15 for Richland. Trenton Duffner on the snag for Richland. Bitts eventually brings him down. And they fight him down. It's like we told you, this is a Richland team that does not have a great deal of quit in it. Meanwhile, a quick update here in Region 1. Winemere-Lidgerwood 22, Thompson 21 with 5:41 to go in the fourth quarter. The Region 1 title game going to come down to the wire, it seems. Myers is going to take off. Cole Myers with his best run of the day. He is hit hard, but he eventually picks up 13 yards and a first down for Richland. One of our first finals of the day. This game started pretty early. The Century Patriots knocking off the Eagles of Davies 38-25. So Century will stay at number 2 in AAA, as those guys still have some regular season contention to be done. The 9-man season winding down today, the playoffs getting underway as we start the Saturday night lights, or Saturday night afternoons, depending on how it goes, over the course of the postseason. Falling into the end zone, and the official signal is touchdown for Richland. Fighting his way down to the goal line and working his way in, it is Blake Loomis. The 5'11 junior for the Richland Colts takes it on the swing pass and swings his way right into the end zone. Loomis across the goal line, touchdown Richland. And once again, they will stave off the running clock. The all-important part of a comeback bid, though that'll get more and more difficult as we are under 10 to go. Low snap, corralled by Myers. The extra point is up and good. So Richland cashes in this time, and it's 46-20, nearing the end of the ball game here in Colfax. (46-20). The score here in a 9-man contest. A funny score up in Class A. Botno gets a safety. A bad snap on a rugby punt makes it 6-2. Don't often see that one. Another final score for you up in Double-A. The Jamestown Blue Jays making their case to try and take the Double-A crown. 35-8. They defeat the Wahpeton Huskies. Also, the Killdeer Cowboys up big, 38-0. Richland's been doing onside kicks with a decent amount of regularity. No reason to stop now. Trying to come back from a 26-point deficit. Napoleon playing up in a big way. Fettig's the only guy back. This time they change up the tack. A little bit more air yardage, and it is secured with ease. Ethan Kleppe falls on it. Be one of the few times Ethan Kleppe has touched the football this year and hasn't resulted in points for NGS. 4 touchdowns on 5 catches for the junior wide receiver. A touchdown maker for NGS. Also a positive update for Richland. Gavin Ryland is back on the field after getting shaken up a little bit earlier. Number 11 is right back out there. He's been the go-to weapon offensively for Cole Myers, and that connection will continue to be honed over the course of an offseason for Richland, in which they'll get some senior leadership next year. It'll be a different Richland team over the course of our 2018 season. Boy, that sounds weird to say. Meanwhile, Napoleon, they're going to try and capitalize on this year, but they don't have a ton of seniors either. You look at a guy like Drew Weigel, a guy like Jacob Bitts, obviously hugely important to what this team does, in addition to some other guys like Luke Hoberg. But on balance, this is a junior team for NGS. They'll be able to return a decent amount. Fettig on the keeper right near that line to gain. And he has the 10 yards, and that is a first down. A final score out in Region 2 of Class A. Langdon 56, Central Dakota 0. Langdon will be the number 1 seed in Class A, and they will host an opening round playoff game. The finals starting to roll in now. Killdeer 40-0 winners over Hart River. Beach 48-8 winners over Central McLean. We near the final bell here. Napoleon looking to try and get us a bit closer to it. High snap, corralled easily, run right side. Weigel falls forward just shy of the 45-yard line, out to the 46 on a gain of 4 for the do-it-all back for Napoleon. We've seen Nathan Weigel on medium carries. We've seen Nathan Weigel on long carries. He has set the bar for NGS over the course of this game and has really kept this Richland defense that has speed to spare on its back heel. Richland watching on as Napoleon is in no hurry to snap these footballs. As the keep goes far side, spin move but hit hard was Jamison Fettig. One of the few times today that Richland defense has been able to rally to the quarterback on those quarterback keepers on the read. Jamison's done a really good job of reading the defense and often making the correct call. Thomas Zander and company there on the tackle for Richland. Here, I think they had both ends contained. That was Nicholas Thompson on both ends of that play. There to corral the quarterback. Didn't wind up making the eventual tackle, but he had the running back. That's nicely done by the 8th grader. Again, quarterback keeper. This time a little bit more designed for Jamison Fettig. The Richland defense firing up that sideline as the tackle made by Thompson. We've seen 45 all over it. So it's 4th down and a couple. Carson Anderson, the sophomore, also there to make his bid on the tackle of the junior quarterback, Jamison Fettig. Ooh, another big score in Class A. The Beulah Miners lose to Dickinson Trinity, 21-0. That was previously number 4 Beulah. Run right up the gut, right at the line to gain a secondary effort, and may have gotten it for Garrett Jangula. Jangula shoved Weigel forward. It may have been enough, and it is indeed. 1st down, Napoleon. Good job by Weigel to keep those feet going. His team powers him forward. And just like that, it's 4 more plays for Napoleon and a chance to run another few minutes off of this clock. Looks like it's time for that wild Imperial look again. Weigel on the direct snap. Sweeping action comes near side. It's Colton Jangula, who is held up by a few Richland Colts who are out ball hunting right now. Carter Lingen trying to snatch that thing away along with Trenton Duffner. We've seen Colton Jangula get in on this game with that sweet catch in double coverage for NGS. One of their few touchdowns on the day. And now Napoleon trying to work everybody in, getting them ready, and recognizing these are their final few game reps for 2 weeks. Option look. The pitch late, but it's going to work out. Nathan Weigel can do that for you. As Weigel gets just shy of that line to gain and picks up a quick 8 yards. A touchdown for the Holsteins. 30-20, New Salem on top of the Skyhawks of Shiloh Christian. And with 10 minutes to go, Shiloh in danger of entering the playoffs off of a loss. And you knew they had a tough one. Holsteins are good this year. They have been the past few. Shiftiness, the MO of Nathan Weigel. He utilizes it again. Initially getting ready to plunge off left side, changes direction, goes right, gets the 1st down. St. Mary's only able to mount a field goal, so that game is 18-9, Watford City. The Wolves looking for a huge win as a part of that new AA statewide bracket. Of course, the biggest trip involving Watford City. They have to come, well, here and then go further. Watford City and Wahpeton. Run right up the gut. This time it's Jake Bitts. Manages to pick up 4 yards. Napoleon's going to be able to take this under a couple minutes And with a little bit more, speaking of the town of Waupun, it won't be there tomorrow. It won't be for high school football, though. Some NJCAA action as two of the top offenses in the region will go at it. The Wildcats of NDSCS bolster a running attack that is difficult to stop. Dakota College out of Botno has a quarterback who is second in the conference in passing yardage. It should be an offensive palooza tomorrow. You won't want to miss it. We'll get going underway at right around 2 o'clock tomorrow. That game will be over on BEK Prime. And then, more or less, right after the conclusion of that one, you wait a little bit, stick around on BEK Prime, and all of a sudden you'll get to see our hockey debut as the Minot Minotauros take on Kenai River as a part of their season opening swing. So JUCO football and hockey tomorrow. Then we'll take Sunday off and get right back at it. And we've got a week of plenty next year. We showed you some of that on our JSI look ahead. Remember, Bechtel.com/BBN is where you can go for it. A lot of Bison volleyball. And plenty more. Quarterback keeper off the left side. There is Jamison Fettig. Fettig with the first down. The clock will stop as the chains move, and then it will wind again, as it will be first down and goal for Napoleon. They will be in no hurry to get that goal, though. Ooh, a quick answer by the Shiloh Christian Skyhawks. They now trail by just 2 to New Salem, Almont, Glen Ullin. So the Holsteins trying to hold on. Napoleon's going to take it down to 1 and go ahead and call a timeout. And so with a minute 27 to go, Napoleon can run down what's left of this clock. They are going to finish the regular season undefeated and champs of Region 3. A 26-point lead. It's victory formation time for NGS. They will simply take a couple knees and finish this thing off. 8-0 in a perfect regular season for Napoleon-Gackle Streeter. Following a good year last year, 8-2 in a loss to Thompson. NGS will enter the playoffs as the number 1 seed out of Region 3 and with an unblemished record. Now, they get a bye week to prepare for their next opponent. We don't know who it is yet. We do know it will be determined in Hankinson, and the winner of that game will go to Napoleon in a few Saturdays. So NGS gets a chance to rewind and recover. Meanwhile, for the Richland Colts, an up-and-down season. They've played some teams very close, picked up a few victories, but they will miss the playoffs for the first time in a couple years. Now they get to continue to capitalize on the game reps these young men have gotten, and they look to resume their spot in the postseason next year. The final mark, 46-20. The Imperials winners here in Colfax. We will step aside here on BEK 247 when we get back. We'll introduce you to our Cass Clay player of the game and wrap up a really fun 9-man regular season. It's in the books. We'll look back at it. Back we come one final time to Colfax, North Dakota, 46-20. The Imperials will finish off the undefeated regular season and earn themselves a first-round bye in the 9-man playoffs. Time to introduce you to our Cass Clay player of the game. Since 1935, Cass Clay Creamery has been providing fresh and delicious dairy products to families in North Dakota and surrounding areas. It was the spark plug in this one, Nathan Weigel, the junior running back, who will earn our Cass Clay player of the game honors in this one. Some long runs set Napoleon up early, and their offense, when it gets a lead, does not relinquish it. NGS gets the win by virtue of their junior running back, our Cass Clay player of the game, Nathan Weigel. So, the 9-man season in the books. Wyndmere Lidgerwood, by the way, won that game 30-21, so they are your number 1 in Region 1, and the 9-man playoffs start to look a lot clearer. This is as wide open as 9-man has been in a while, and it should be a wild postseason. We're looking forward to bringing it to you here on the BEK Broadcast Network. Bechtel.com/BBN is where you can go, or on Twitter at BEKSports.com. For our entire crew here in Colfax, North Dakota, as well as the group back in Bismarck, have a great night. We will talk to you tomorrow from Wahpeton.